Have you been feeling frustrated that you're not able to live up to your fullest potential? Are you feeling as if you've been stuck in a rut and that rut is lasting far longer than you expected? Do you wake up feeling really pained because you know that you were destined for a better life, one with more freedom, more abundance, more love and joy and prosperity, and just being surrounded by the right people as opposed to the wrong circumstances? If this sounds like you need to watch this particular video to the end, because in this video, I'm going to tell you the 3 most common things that people do to sabotage their own success and how people actually end up not living the life of their dreams because they keep practicing these 3 things. So remember, these are the 3 big no-nos. Now, item number 1 is quite simply this. You choose not to listen. Sometimes people are actually giving you experiences that they have tried and learned from in order to help you avoid making the same mistakes. But what happens is our ego mind tends to flare up whenever people are giving us unsolicited advice, meaning we never asked for it. You didn't ask for it, and they start dumping their story on you. However, if you give yourself the opportunity to listen to the lesson behind the story, why is this person telling you this? Because they learned something valuable, and by giving a little bit of your time, you pick up that valuable lesson and avoid making the same mistake. You are actually doing yourself a massive, massive favor. Imagine if something took somebody 3 months, 6 months, 3 years to learn about investing, and you're able to learn it by giving them, let's say, 15 minutes or 5 minutes of your time. Wouldn't it be worth all of the pain and potentially money involved that you can actually learn the lesson and fast track in a new direction? So understand that when you choose not to listen, when you often tune out the lessons that are being presented to you, you are sabotaging your own ability to start fast-tracking your life. Now, the second thing that people tend to do to sabotage their hopes and dreams in life is quite simply telling themselves all sorts of things about a situation, a person, or a circumstance that causes them to overanalyze. Have you ever heard the term paralysis by analysis? When you overanalyze, you actually stop yourself from taking action because you find all the reasons not to take action. You find all the different reasons as to why it is you should be holding your ground and staying in a holding pattern. Also, if you are thinking about doing something, you should not be consulting the advice of people who have never done it before. When you speak to people who have never done it before, they're going to give you what they perceive to be the best route, as opposed to when you speak to a mentor. A mentor is able to actually tell you what the best route is because they have walked the path themselves. So remember, the thing that a lot of people do to sabotage their own success is, well, quite simply, the fact that they don't ask for help from somebody who has walked the path. They choose to do it themselves, or more importantly, they don't actually give themselves the time and the space to absorb the lessons from, as I said, number 1, people who have made certain mistakes. Now, the very last thing, the third thing that a lot of people do to sabotage their own success is this. They don't actually give themselves the time and the space to script their life again. What do I mean by this? Well, if you're living a certain life with certain circumstances and it's not what you want it to be, being able to sit down and commit yourself, pen to paper, as to what it is you want to see in your life, what things you want to manifest and hope is visibly present, physically there so that you can touch it, see it, smell it, taste it, and experience it, is you have to script your life according to what it is your heart truly desires. Not what somebody else desires, but what your heart desires. And for one reason or another, people never take the time out to try this simple exercise. Do you remember when you were a child in school? You could create anything, give you a blank piece of paper, pencil crayons or crayons, and you would just draw whatever you wanted. It could be dinosaurs, it could be unicorns, it could be a castle, it could be anything that your imagination and your heart's desire would be expressed onto this piece of paper. Now, what if life is a giant canvas waiting for us to express ourselves, and yet we're not expressing ourselves because, well, we don't take the time out to truly sit and allow ourselves to consider what the results are that we really want. Now, if this sounds like you, understand that you are actually sabotaging yourself and setting yourself up for failure because you're not listening to what other people are saying in terms of the lessons that they have learned. You're not actually enlisting the help of a proper mentor, somebody who has walked the path and can tell you exactly the quickest route to get there. And lastly, you don't give yourself the time and the space to sit down and write the script of your life out. How exactly do you want to see things play out? If you were the director of your life, which you are, and yet you're not making space for yourself to consider all of these tiny details. For example, where you live, how you choose to commute, how much do you weigh, what type of clothes do you like to wear, who is surrounding you, do you have loving relationships, do you have family with you? If you want a family, how many children do you have, what is your spouse like? All of these finer details make up of what we call this lovely experience of life. But if you omit them, it's very hard to take yourself to a place that you can't even envision. So understand how your subconscious mind works. Understand how your energetic body is also there to help guide you forward if you are able to release the emotions that have kept you all held back in the past. Frustration, fear, and paralysis by analysis, where your mind spins out of control, yet your heart is telling you an entirely different story. Learn now to listen to your heart. Give yourself the time and the space. And if you've watched this video to this particular point, I wish you all the best on your journey. Please make sure you click like and subscribe so that we can continue to make videos to help make your life a lot more radiant and help you take the fast track into the life of your dreams. And I'll speak to you in my next